Welcome back to the channel, and today we're diving into one of the most crucial aspects of architecture, stakeholder roles. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please think about subscribing to the channel. It does mean a lot to me. And if you find this video useful at the end, then please give it a like. So, whatever the shape of your organisation, you're likely to come across people with the roles that I am going to talk about now. Although the job descriptions and the job titles might be slightly different in each business. Because job descriptions are different in each organisation, I'll talk about each role's responsibilities, the motivations behind their role, and how they will interact with architects, so that you'll have a better chance of relating this to your individual organisation. At this point, let's introduce an old friend. Exam tips. So, exam tip 1. As I go through the roles, try to remember the responsibilities attributed to each role. You'll probably encounter at least one question in the certification exam around this and associated areas. If you're an architect or working in IT strategy, understanding stakeholders is key to delivering successful solutions. So, like I've just explained, I'm going to talk about who the key stakeholders are, their responsibilities and motivations, and how they interact with architects. So let's start by answering the key question here. Why do stakeholders actually matter? Now, life would be a lot simpler without stakeholders, but actually it wouldn't work. So, architects don't work in isolation. Every architectural decision impacts business users. It impacts technology teams and executives. So understanding who your stakeholders are and what they care about is crucial for alignment, buy-in, and success. So let's start with business stakeholders, the people who define what needs to be built based on business goals and user needs. So I'm going to start with product owners and business analysts. Now, the responsibilities of product owners and business analysts are to identify, prioritize, and evolve business capabilities. They must also represent the need of business users. So what motivates product owners and business analysts? What gets them out of bed in the morning? Well, when I was a business analyst, which was many years ago, before I moved into architecture, my main motivation was to deliver business value. And I did that by working with my customers from the business and business partners and suppliers, if third parties were involved, to build business capability. As a business analyst, I would work with the architect to define business drivers, the desired goals, and the projected outcomes. Now, this was normally done through the definition and clarification of functional and non-functional requirements, and I think we're probably all familiar with those. Of course, product owners have the same responsibilities and motivations, just from a product point of view. Now, I don't have time to discuss all the differences with product owners, but if you'd like me to do a separate video on product ownership and product owners, what drives those people as well, then drop a comment and I'll create another separate video just on that subject. Okay, let's move on to business architects. Now, business architects run side by side with other architecture roles and are focused on how the business operates and evolves over time. Business architects are responsible for ensuring alignment between business capability and architecture. But what motivates a business architect? Well, a business architect is responsible for the execution of business strategy and ensuring that the business can scale in an efficient way in order to meet its business goals. Now you should remember that in the last video I talked about business and operating models. If you didn't see that video, then I'll put a link in the description below for this video. If you did see the video, then you'll remember, hopefully, that the business architect will work with other architects to define the business and operating models and provide a high-level vision for the evolution of the business capability, so how the business will evolve over time. Now let's move up the hierarchy to enterprise leadership, where high-level decisions impact technology investments. So the enterprise architects are responsible for defining a high-level vision for technology that realizes business objectives. They want to create a cohesive, scalable architecture which aligns technology with business goals. In order to achieve that goal, they'll need to interact with other architects to develop an enterprise roadmap while setting architectural principles and governance. We'll talk more about enterprise roadmaps later in the course. Okay, let's talk about the Chief Information Officer and the Chief Technology Officer. So the Chief Information Officer, commonly referred to as a CIO, and the Chief Technology Officer, CTO, play a strategic role in technology direction. Now these roles own the technical strategy and the roadmap and will need to ensure enterprise-wide consistency in solutions. Of course, these roles are senior roles within the organisation and will be motivated by the need for efficiency within the organisation, the need to drive innovation while maintaining security at a technology level, avoiding technological duplication. So we only want to do things once and we want to do them well. The CIO and CTO will work with the architects to define and validate enterprise-wide technical standards and set governance for IT investment. Okay, moving down from enterprise level strategy, we get to the solution and application architecture. Now these roles focus on designing and implementing specific solutions for business needs. So let's look at these two roles then, portfolio architects and solution architects. And we'll start with portfolio architects. Now, portfolio architects, certainly within the organisation where I work, oversee a set of solutions linked to business needs. Now, the solution architects work with the portfolio architects and our other architects within the organisation to deliver the actual solutions, but both roles are driven by the same motivation, namely to deliver business requirements efficiently while maintaining consistency within their own domains and enterprise architectures. Of course, in order to achieve this, they must work with other architects to define portfolio and solution architectures which address functional and non-functional requirements. Remember, we talked about these already, such as scalability, security, and performance. Now, application architects and functional architects are maybe not the most recognizable architectural roles. But at the application level, architects ensure that individual systems work effectively within the broader IT landscape. Application architects are responsible for designing specific applications and their interactions while working with business process owners. Now, the motivation for application architects is to ensure that business functionality is correctly implemented and that data flow is consistent across all the applications. Now, in order to achieve their objective, the application and functional architects will work with other architects for data modeling, compatibility with other systems, and ensuring alignment with integration strategies. Okay, let's talk about information architects. Now, the responsibilities of an information architect are primarily to model business data for accuracy and availability, but in the age of AI, the importance of data consistency, integrity, and accuracy have taken an even larger motivational role in the work of information architects. But even so, information architects cannot work alone, and they need interaction with other architects to define data transformation and validation rules based on business knowledge to accurately produce enterprise data models or canonical data models by use by the business. Now, we've planned the architecture. Who actually builds and delivers the solutions? Let's talk about the execution team. Now, unless you work in an organisation where all development is outsourced, which actually is the environment I work in, so it is a possibility, you will recognise the roles of lead solution engineers and developers, although, as I've said, you may not recognise them by these titles, especially in an agile environment. We can talk about that another time. Again, if you'd like me to talk about agile, I am an agile coach, so we can do that in a separate video. Comments below. So these roles are responsible for realising, understanding and implementing the technical design. They love to build solutions which are efficient and performant, but to do this they must translate the architecture blueprints into working software. Of course, the lead solution engineers and developers, to do their work, we must have program and project managers who coordinate these roles to ensure timely delivery of the solution by defining and meeting deadlines and project milestones, and managing budgets, of course. But project and program managers just love project plans, milestones and deadlines, don't they? Now, of course, program and project managers need to align project plans and short-term roadmaps to the overall architectural roadmaps, and for this they need to interact with the architectural community. So, in conclusion, architecture isn't just about technology, it's about people, which makes it really interesting in my view. From business leaders to developers, every stakeholder plays a critical role in building successful solutions. So remember then, business stakeholders define needs. Enterprise and solution architects create strategy. Engineers and developers bring designs to life. And project managers and program managers ensure delivery. Now, as usual, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment below. Which stakeholders do you interact with the most in your role? Let's discuss it. Put some comments in below and give me your view on how all of this fits together and how it works within your organisation. I'd be really interested to hear. I hope you found that useful, and I hope to see you in the next video.